And good morning, everybody. Welcome to SNSN. It is a Friday morning. We have some interesting news that came down the pike yesterday, where the governor has now mandated state workers as well as teachers and people that work in teaching facilities, not just schools, but different things, to get the vaccine. And there's a lot of folks that do not like it. They don't like the idea of it, and there are lots of folks that are like, we don't care, either way. So again, it's split down. I don't know if you could say it's split down the middle or not, or what, but it's more controversy when it comes to COVID-19.
I know what's and if you don't get it, unfortunately, they can fire you.
Yep.
It comes down to that. I mean, you can do all the religious exemptions you want, and fight it, but what's going to come down to, it's our policy. You got to get the shot.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't get it, bye-bye.
Now, Connecticut being an at-will state, does that include state employees?
I believe so.
I think that's who he's mandating that state employees get it.
Right. What I'm saying is Walmart, if you work at Walmart, you can walk in one day and for no reason they can go, you're fired. Because it's an at-will.
At-will, yeah.
But does that apply to state employees? Being
an at-will state and an at-will employer are two different things.
Right.
Just so you know. So, like, Walmart's an at-will employer. Like, back in the day when I worked for Radio Shack, they were an at-will employer. But there's a little difference between being an at-will state and at-will employee.
Right. So, are state employees at-will employers?
I don't know.
Oh, that's a good question. That's a really good question.
Good. Ask Chris anything.
Let's ask Siri. Siri, do this. Siri, do that.
I would think that a lot of the state employee unions will be battling this thing.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that there's some uproar on social media as far as this is concerned, but I haven't seen any teachers come forward with any kind of pushback. Now, I'm not saying there isn't.
I think the only ones that are pushing back at all would be the ones with medical issues.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Well, they're the ones that will try to push back. Let me rephrase that.
I've seen a lot of remarks on social media from residents from towns saying, basically to teachers, before you put in your resignation, meaning assuming that they are going to, not saying that they're not, or some will or won't, whatever. But I think a lot of residents who do not want the vaccine themselves are assuming there's going to be a lot of teachers that are going to have the same stance.
Absolutely.
Now, again, I'm just going right down the middle here. It could be, but it's a lot easier for an anti-vaxxer to sit back and say, I'm going to pull my kids out. I'm going to go ahead and homeschool now because of all of this crap and anarchy and taking our rights away, and which is the way that they feel, or any anti-vaxxer, I guess, would feel about this. And the actual teacher themselves, because now the teacher themselves is dealing with, this is my job. This is how I put food on my table for my family. So there's a lot of variables.
Oh yeah,
that go in, where the person on social media is not in their shoes. I have yet to hear from a teacher to see how they feel about it, and it's going to vary. So
as with anything else, there's always an exception to every rule. Let's say you're a teacher at an elementary school and you're 6 months pregnant. Are you going to get the vaccine?
I don't know. I won't get pregnant, so I can't answer that question.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though, is there's going to be exceptions to every rule. If they say all teachers have to get vaccinated, Well, there's got to be except.
Right. Okay.
All teachers except those that are 6 months pregnant have to get the vaccine.
Let's see. There was a letter sent out to the Plainfield school staff. Before I get to that, Laura asks, would this apply to private schools as well? I think what I should do here is actually pull up the executive order. Guys, you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that, Mike.
Just because I'm not talking to me doesn't mean you can't.
Yeah.
So, Paul, how's your day going?
Here we go.
You know, a lot of people that are fighting this shot and they're going to say, okay, I'm going to lose my job. But no matter if they try to go get another job, guess what? They're going to require a shot.
Exactly.
So you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Do I not get it, lose my job, and then try to get a job somewhere else, or am I going to just be unemployed for the length of this COVID thing
Right.
until it blows over?
Right.
Can everybody afford that? Probably not, because
No.
don't forget all that extra money they were getting is coming to an end.
Well, I think every case is an individual case.
Yeah.
People have to weigh the merits, pro and con of getting the vaccine.
Yeah. And it's the younger, it's the 30 to 50-year-olds that probably don't have the shots. I mean, a lot of them didn't get it.
The millennials.
Well, 30 to 50, I would call them millennials. I mean, 20s, yeah, they're 20 to 30 would be.
No, the 20s is a whole different generation. They're like Generation
30,
Z or
what are the
something.
millennials? 30?
I think it's 30 to 50, right in that ballpark.
I'm not sure.
All right, so I have the. Oh,
Okay,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I have the executive order up now. I want to get to the point because somebody had asked, does this also mean private schools as well?
Got to weed through the
Well,
whereases and
yeah.
the theretofores.
Well, that would
and-
mean NFA. NFA
Yeah.
is a private school.
See, long-term care facilities, yes. I pulled up, I think, the wrong executive order here. Yeah, is it the one?
I
Yep,
mean,
here it is. Protection of public health and safety during COVID-19 pandemic. Vaccinations required for state employees, state employees and child care facility staff.
So that's not teachers.
Child care facility.
I would think that the requirement for teachers in Griswold would come under the superintendent. It's not state, it's town.
Child care facilities refers to, this is bullet D, refers to child care centers, group child care homes, and family child care homes as defined in section blah, blah, blah of Connecticut General Statutes, and youth camps as defined in section blah, blah, blah of Connecticut General Statute, whatever. School board refers to the operator of any public or non-public pre-K through grade 12 school. So yes, any non-public or public.
Okay, so yeah.
So the
it's private.
question is, state employees and state hospital worker employees, school boards, and child care facilities,
There it
both
is.
public and non-public. So I'm going to say that public and non-public schools, they are going to require the vaccine for their
So,
teachers.
so if there's teachers out there that strongly feel one way or the other on this, they should chime in today.
Yeah. Well, there are a couple.
Yeah.
Sarah puts, an effective governor would provide the resources and let them make informed decisions as appropriate to each one's needs and research. Informed consent and personal choice.
Well, you got one governor who's doing that, and everybody's beating them up. Florida, he's telling people, do what you want.
Right.
But people are beating them up badly because of that decision.
People in Florida or people out of Florida?
Well, I think I hear of some people out of Florida, even though Florida is really, in tough shape with this virus. But
So here's a letter that came out of Plainfield to the Plainfield staff, schooling staff.
yeah,
As you may be aware, during his 4 p.m. press conference, this is yesterday, Governor Lamont issued Executive Order 13D, mandated vaccines for state and school employees. The document is public and blah. Okay, here we go. The executive order is new and additional information will be provided to staff as we have time to review the order completely. Per the press conference, this is the information. All Board of Education and contracted employees will be required to be fully vaccinated for the 2021-2022 school year. This includes part-time employees, substitutes, transportation, and food service. Individuals should schedule vaccinations to be fully vaccinated by September 27th. Additional criteria has been established for individuals who have received their first dosage by September 27th. The executive order contains allowances for exemptions under specific situations with a weekly testing option.
That would be my 6-month pregnant teacher.
Yeah.
The exception.
But I think if you're not going to get the shot, then you have to be tested once a week.
Yeah.
Plainfield has a scheduled clinic for vaccinations at Plainfield High School on Monday, August 23rd, from 10 to 2, which is available to the staff. The information is new and developing. Additional information will be sent soon. Okay. So, that's what they're saying. Is that if you don't want to get the shot, you have to be weekly tested.
Right.
well,
For those that qualify for an exemption. So
you're right.
if you
I
don't
think
fall under the
he's
exemptions,
right.
you have to get the vaccine.
Yes.
Yes. So, but if you're exempted, then once a week testing is an alternative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where is the data to back up the decision? Sarah asks. Is the employer on the hook for workplace liability due to adverse reactions to this? Is it recordable with OSHA? Our employee. These are really good questions.
Well, in some cases where you have an employer that does a lot of services, okay, to other places, unfortunately, they probably don't require it. But if you're going to a place to perform a service, that place may say, look, you can't come in and do the service unless you're vaccinated.
Right.
So it's not necessarily in all cases the employees or the employee, it's because you're going out and performing a service.
Right.
So, and the other thing too now is you can't go to UConn unless you got a shot.
That is true.
That's right.
Yeah, that is true.
Quinnipiac just said no shot, no school,
No online.
No
they won't even
online.
let you take it online
That's right.
if you don't have the vaccine.
Yeah. See, now I disagree with that. If you're a hazard of exposing someone because you didn't get the shot, then yes, I can understand them saying you don't have or you can't come into school without getting vaccinated. But online, there is no hazard to other people. So to me, that is just a power play.
It's another way to force people to do something they may not want to do.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's what this whole thing is.
Oh, yeah.
It's to force the people who did not want to get a shot to get the shot. And how do you do that? You take away their employee, you take away their money making,
You take away their rights.
you take away everything. That's exactly what they're doing.
Oh, they talk about herd immunity.
Yeah.
They're talking about herd control as
Yeah.
well.
Right.
They're sheep herding us all. That's
Yeah,
what they're
and
doing.
Everybody doesn't have the luxury to say, screw it, I'll just quit my job and stay home. Well, you can't do that if you're,
You can do it if you're retired.
if you're retired, you can do it.
So Phil says, I think there's an option to get to not get the vaccine for religious exemptions. However, they did away with that, did they not?
No, it's there. But
But
it's still going to come down to if your employee's policy says no shot, no work. Guess what? You got a choice.
So
Either I do religious things or I
Yeah.
get a shot.
So there's a question for you. Does Hobby Lobby have to get vaccinated?
I don't know. I wonder if you can take the option of weekly testing. So yeah, that we did answer that, and that was a good question, Phil, because we were curious about that as well. whether or not you can get the weekly testing. But that is the school. That's not saying Hobby Lobby does it,
Right.
or Home Depot,
Right.
or
Well, when
whatever
But
their
I think it's
policy
only these
is.
special
I
conditions.
say Hobby Lobby because Hobby Lobby is very religious.
Sure.
So do they require their employees to get vaccinated?
What about Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A, same thing.
Another
I
one.
don't know.
I mean, we can go down that
Yeah.
rabbit hole, about different. But the thing is every employer is going to have their own rules and regulations until the state
Right.
twists their arm a little bit too much. Like, we're going to take this away from you. We're going to take that.
Well,
When it
away
becomes a
from you.
money issue.
That's the
Yeah.
problem. That's the problem. Everybody is afraid to say no.
It's all Bill Gates' fault.
So, unfortunately, the employee is the
Mhm.
one that's taking the hit.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are not happy about it.
Well, there's that herd control.
Yeah. So, I mean, like us, we're retired. We don't care.
Right.
His situation, he's self-employed, so he doesn't really necessarily.
Who?
You're self-employed, so you're different.
Do you require all your employees to get vaccinated, Mike?
No, it's a personal choice. And I don't have employees. I don't have any employees.
Kind of where I was going.
Yeah.
like we talked earlier, they got the old people, retired people, or aged people to get the shot because they're scared the hell out of them.
Mm-hmm.
If you get the shot, you're going to die. Pretty
That's
much.
basically what they said.
Yeah.
And everybody was standing in line to get a freaking shot because we were so scared. Well, we've got over that piece now. Now you can't convince the younger people to get a shot because they don't care, right? I'm
Right.
strong. So now they got to find another way to get you to get a shot. The federal government couldn't force you to do it, but this is how they're doing it.
I watch the TV every day, and it's amazing to me how many back and forths they go.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
Get the shot or you're going to die. Oh, wait a minute. You got to get a second shot. Otherwise, you're going to die.
yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. You need a booster shot just in case.
yeah.
Otherwise, you'll die.
Phil also then he puts up what about unemployment benefits? I'm saying if
If
go
they
ahead.
fire you, then they're on the hook for unemployment benefits.
Not necessarily if you are let go. See, this is very human resources control.
Yeah.
This is a state mandate. If you go against the state mandate, you're not going to get state benefits.
Right. But the state mandate does not apply to big boxes right now.
Right, but then you're not going to get fired for not being vaccinated at some of these retailers.
They can. They can fire you. It's an at-will employer.
Right.
So they can just go, did you get vaccinated? No, you're fired.
No, I see.
If that happens,
I don't think they'll say it like that. I think they'll be a lot smarter and say, oh, you know what? You came in 30 seconds late today. We can't have that.
Which they
Right.
can't do.
The real reason gets buried.
right. But even in that instance, they have to pay unemployment. If they
Right.
fire you for being 30 seconds
See,
late.
They do, but that doesn't mean the employee is going to be able to collect because the state, there's no way in hell they'll fight that.
Oh, I know.
They'll fight that.
Well, especially the big boxes will fight that because it's all about the shareholders. Has nothing to do with the employees.
Right, but as far as Joe Schmo, filing for unemployment benefits, why aren't you working? Well, because I went against a state mandate. All right, then
Right.
you're gonna have somebody go, oh, and you want the state to pay your benefits and your whatever right now because you went against the state?
You're right.
Denied,
Right.
And
canceled.
yeah, and some employers can hold this against you because this is an employee.
She'll follow you.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't want to comply to rules. I mean, what the heck? So the next time they have a shot, they dump you, or next time you get a promotion, it ain't gonna happen for you, buddy, because you don't believe in company rules.
Right.
Yeah.
They can hold that stuff against you.
Joanne just made a really good point, and I am totally on board with this. This is just the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
This is only the beginning. The government is on the road to making everyone getting this vaccine. What are they going to do to take away our Social Security, our unemployment, which is one of the questions that Phil had. The only way I will take the shot now is kicking and screaming.
That's an
would.
option.
I hate to say it, Joanne. Start practicing your kicking. Start practicing your screaming.
Remember to ki when you
Yeah.
throw the kick.
Yeah. I mean, if he's got the luxury of being self-employed, yeah, he's fine. But if he's working for somebody,
Yeah.
he's going to end up biting the bullet. He's going to be on the street, whoever Phil is.
You know who Phil is.
Oh, I do know.
Yeah, but
Oh, okay.
well, you're not looking at the screen. I mean, his name it's Phil Flowers.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't care. He's going to end up on the street. That's the way
Well,
it's going to be.
Now here's another
Yeah.
situation. Contractors, people who go into your house and stuff.
hmm
It's okay for the homeowner to ask, "Can I see your vaccination card?"
Yeah.
You know, you
Could
don't
work
show
the
me.
other way.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't ever want to go into a restaurant. Whether I got the vaccine or not is irrelevant. But if I walk into a restaurant or someplace of business and they say, "Well, to enter here, you must display your vaccination card," and it's going to get digital, it's going to be on your phones. You're going to have a digital
It's going to
shot
be on
record.
the chip that they just injected into your arm.
Perhaps.
Yes.
Perhaps.
Oh,
Excuse
Christ,
me.
don't
Let
go
me
there.
let me scan your barcode. Okay, you're good.
Where's Jim?
Would you like pork fried rice with that? You know. But
Gotcha.
if so, it's irrelevant whether I got the shot or not. But I will look at them. I'll say, "Can I see your shot your shot card too?" I don't want somebody serving me whatever if you've got the COVIDs.
Well, I'd also like to see your full immunization record. Make sure you got smallpox and polio and diphtheria, tetanus.
I don't think a lot of young people go.
Have you gotten your hepatitis C immunization?
I don't know.
I want to see all those shots too.
Amazingly enough, I didn't get my asshole vaccination.
Funny enough, I did, and it turned me into an asshole.
However, Joanne says this will change when Trump is president again.
Uh-huh.
It will change when. Yeah, it all depends who gets it.
Okay.
Well, we'll see.
Dream to live the impossible life.
Unfortunately, the government, if you remember, Biden was trying to make it a federal mandate, and he knew that he couldn't.
Right.
So all the Democrat governors that are in place are following through
Mhm.
to get what he wanted done. Until that happens, until they all change.
Listen up. This is one of those things that you just have to go ahead and do it. The thing. That's on me.
Yeah,
The thing.
I don't know. Either, I mean, I think what's happening is the principle behind it is that they're forcing people to get it. If it was,
Wake up, Joe.
they weren't forcing them,
Wake up, Joe.
they may consider getting it. But I think it's them telling you got to do
You're
it.
right. I wondered, I haven't looked at the numbers or anything. Statistically, the states run by Republicans versus the states run by Democrats, how's their COVID mortality rate go?
Well, Florida.
Look at Florida.
Florida's in
Look
deep
at
crap.
Texas.
He's had it open, and Florida's in bad shape.
Okay.
Yeah, real bad shape. Yeah. And he's got to the point where don't wear masks and tells kids schools don't wear masks.
Well,
So
if you
is
go
it
to-
politically biased, the infection rate?
Yeah. Texas, I think, is another state.
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that one.
Me
to be honest
neither.
with you.
We don't see those.
It's a good question. Do you folks do you guys think that you asked the question? It's your question.
Well, for instance, we're a democratically controlled state.
Connecticut is yeah.
Right. Now, what states that border us are Republican controlled? I don't know because I don't follow politics.
No, New England's all blue.
Okay. What's the nearest state? New York?
That's
Republican?
blue.
That's blue.
Okay, keep going.
Maine's
Pennsylvania?
blue. Maine is blue. New Hampshire's blue.
You said New England. I got that.
Midwest,
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
South, Florida.
so let's look at other besides Florida and Texas, which have really gone off the rail.
Yeah.
Let's look at other Republican controlled states and see if the infection rate is higher or lower. Republicans are saying, "Oh, you don't need the shot," where Democrats are saying, you definitely better get the shot.
I don't know.
So, are the democratically controlled states lower infection rates?
Don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Anybody out there? Anybody? Bueller? Bueller?
We can't ask Chris that question.
You can ask me.
You don't know the answer.
See, there's my escape. You never asked me to give you a correct answer.
Let's see. At John Hopkins, patterns between governor affiliation and case and death numbers. States with Republican governors had highest COVID incidence and death rates.
There you go.
That's because they're not following. Yeah. But
Daryl just said Dem states are lower, which is true.
Yeah.
And there's that division again.
again,
Yep.
how do we know if the numbers are right?
Do we know if the media's reporting
Yeah.
accurately?
I don't know. I mean, there's this is let's see, Washington Post, John Hopkins University, Medical News Today, NBC News.
Here you go again. Government telling us what to do. The Republicans are saying, the Republican states
USA
saying, they're
Today,
not going to tell us what to do.
Right.
That's why.
USA News, New York Times. Let's see. Let's see if. Oh, sorry. Like most newspapers, you can't. You have to sign into your account or
That's the way
buy
they
a
are.
subscription.
That's the way they all are. Except
Yeah.
SNSN.
Yeah, we did it once. All people did was bitch. You know, it's like, no, we don't do this. We're not pay for that. Okay, well, good North Pole. Well, I got to pay for that too. They're only 7 pages a day now.
It's like
And
50,
3 of them are obituaries.
it's like 50 cents a page.
No. That's all right, folks. We give you your news for free. You're welcome. And we're right down the middle. I mean, you know, I have my
I know you
beliefs,
do.
you know, but I know you do, and you do, and
I believe unicorns are real.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do too. I really honestly do. I don't see why they wouldn't be. But what we talk about on here is, you know, our own beliefs is irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know, this is about getting everybody to talk and see how they feel and
Well, this is a
share their
Big
beliefs.
subject now.
Daryl from the Healthy Computer,
Rose.
School Street, Jewett City.
He's an
Call
expert on viruses.
1-800-VIRUS.
Yeah.
1-800
When it
for
comes
a
to-
virus.
When it comes
Ooh.
to viruses, ask Daryl.
Uh-huh. Let me inject your computer through its hard drive. I will fix you. It says so. Daryl says so. The facts that Democratic states are lower than Republican means that it is a media-controlled bias.
Thank you, Daryl.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's where I was going with it.
Mhm.
Do you feel like, and just me, do you feel like
Let's just end that right now. It's just you.
as the years go by, America as a country is becoming more and more cynical,
No.
less trustworthy of news media, less
Oh,
trustworthy,
yes.
Well, yes.
Yes.
less
Let's-
trustworthy
yes.
of the political pundits?
Yes.
Yes.
I
But
think
I
we-
don't think more cynical. I think people, are cynical. Period.
Yeah.
You know. But I don't think it's. I think the media has gotten worse. But I think people are fighting what they don't believe. I don't think that makes them cynical.
See,
though.
personally myself, I find myself more and more every day questioning what I hear on the TV, in newsprint. I just
And
question
There's
you
a
know,
reason for that.
because everybody lies.
You don't
No.
you
Oh.
don't hear the news stories that you heard 10 or 15 years ago.
You don't know what to believe.
because today's newscast,
Which is called cynical.
they're all opinions.
I don't know if it's cynical. Is just pissed.
No, cynical
Cynical.
is,
I don't believe anything.
cynical is questioning everything.
Okay. All right. Well, I gotta look up this.
Yep, look up the definition of cynic.
How you spell it?
CY.
Oh, cynical. CYANICAL.
And you just won the spelling bee.
Yeah. Ask Chris anything.
I couldn't spell it.
Cynical definition. Let's see. Believing that people are motivated by self-interest,
There you go.
distrustful of of human sincerity or integrity.
Well, we know that's true.
Concerned with only one's own interests and typically disregarding accepted or appropriate standards in order to achieve them. So,
Now, I will ask again, do you think that as a
All right.
country, we are becoming more and more cynical?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up.
See, you didn't have to ask me. I answered my own damn question.
Let's see.
This is
Richard
where-
says tons of possible union issues with this. Grab your popcorn.
Absolutely.
I love popcorn.
Well,
Not being cynical. I love popcorn.
Buttered.
but
With extra salt.
but what's going to happen is people are going to lose their jobs, and then now it becomes a
And there's
union.
nothing that unfortunately they'll be able to do about it.
And then it's going to
Mhm.
take forever for the unions to try to get them back.
Okay, so all right, so Paul, let me say, all right, let's say you're 45 years old, okay, and
was a long time ago
that's a long time ago. I don't know if I
When
remember.
dinosaurs roamed the earth.
I saw someone did at Epcot. So let's say you're 45 years old,
Yeah.
all right, and you work for a company that whatever you're an engineer,
Yeah.
okay, and it comes down that your state
Yeah.
has mandated vaccinations. Your company, which is not state run, says, all right, we're going to mandate vaccinations as well. Okay. You're married with 2 children. You don't have any other income in the house other than you. You're the only income in the home. And remember, you're 45
Yeah.
and you make $125,000 a year.
Yeah.
It comes down, Paul, you have to get the vaccination to continue with your employment here. And you turn around and you say no. I think what would happen is that you would have to get written up through HR first and then go through the channels. But eventually you will lose your job.
Yes, you would.
Do you get the vaccination under those circumstances? And you don't have much savings.
In that situation, I probably would do it because I wouldn't want to lose my job
Right.
because I have no choice
And I think that
and I have no protections because if I'm an engineer, I'm an exempt employee, so I'm not covered by any union. So therefore, hey, you're not covered by
Okay.
anybody. So it's either that or I'll.
But there's
be
another key point in there too that I don't think maybe you're not picking up. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, I agree with Joanne that every single one of us, it's a personal choice that has to be made because
Yeah.
there's so many variables that can come into play as far as whether or not you get the vaccine.
But the state is saying, yeah, it's a personal choice, rah rah, shish kumbah. But if you don't, these are the consequences
Right.
that we are putting in place for you.
And that's what's happening is the choice hasn't changed. The consequences of the choice have
Right.
changed.
So, Paul, under those circumstances and that scenario, do you get the vaccine? Yes or no?
I would get it
Okay.
because I got no choice.
All right.
You have to get it.
You know what makes the choice worse or even harder? Is he's 45 in this
Mhm.
scenario.
Oh, yeah.
He's making $125,000 a year.
Yep.
Who is going to go ahead and take a 45-year-old engineer, not vaccinated, at $125K a year? Nobody.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. Design me a
Hobby
sandwich.
Lobby, baby.
Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's
You
the
see what I
point-
mean?
That's the point I think we're all making is if you don't make the choice and do it, you can't go elsewhere.
Yeah, again, the consequences are changing on us
Oh,
on a
big
daily
time.
basis.
Yeah.
Which I think it all comes down to. I think if it could have been played a different way, where they aren't mandating people to get it, maybe a lot more people would.
That's
step up.
socialism.
And that's what. And they don't want socialism. So
Mhm.
and we all hear it.
You got to get the thing.
Everybody, we're all hearing that, the government wants to take over this and give you this as the first step. This is the kind of stuff that's out there. They're
Mhm.
ripping. That's why a lot of people don't want it. I'm not sure if it's not it's not been approved by the FDA. Yeah, maybe some of that in there, but it's just the principle, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Start investing in crypto, folks.
Yeah. So
because
I wonder. You kind of wonder if Hollywood's going to do that. Think of all the movie actors and stuff like that, the rich people.
Right.
If they don't get the shots, are they going to be able to? And there are some young people that are,
Well, they've closed down a lot of sets
it's true.
because of COVID.
Yeah.
So, hence the
you
reason
can
that all the
appear
Marvel
on-
movies are coming out late.
Yeah, you can't appear in the sitcom because you didn't get a shot.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think California is really tough. I mean, you can't do nothing in California.
Daryl again says, I think people want things to fit a narrative and they want to believe. Everybody wants to be a part of something bigger than themselves, right? If you question everything but don't want to see the facts that are against your opinions, then what can you actually believe in?
Well, the only thing I would argue, Daryl, is where are you getting your facts from?
Newspaper.
I understand that just because it's in print or just because they announced it on the media, on the news, doesn't make it a fact.
Well, if it's on the internet, it's true.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, if it's on the internet, it's absolutely
If you see
true,
it on
folks.
Griswold now, it's
Whoa, yeah. That's the Bible right
there.
there.
It is. Yep.
Grizzled freaking now, If it's there, it's there.
It's there.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if you know this. They changed the rules for groups on Facebook. So now, if you're a private group, you're fine. Nothing's changed. But if you're a public group, you don't have to join the group to comment.
Oh.
Wow.
Or anything like that. You can make a comment, but if you're quote unquote a visitor, then that comment goes to admin approval.
Right.
And that's it. So what they're saying is that, you can help your group grow. No, the only it's doing is it's increasing the spam accounts that are coming my way,
Well,
Abdul Najari from Pakistan wants to be a member of SNSN Radio. I don't think so.
I know my public group page for the movie is.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any individual comments.
Did you guys change your name?
No.
Okay, because now on also your social media it says Platinum Gear Films.
That was a discussion that we had to kind of direct people as to what we produce versus Platinum Gear Productions. And at the time that page was made, we're still debating whether or not to take it down or not.
Okay, I saw that and I said to Melissa, I think Chris changed the name of the company.
Yeah. No, to me, it's confusing our viewers.
Well, it confused me.
See?
Only because I didn't know what the name was now. It was this something that happened. Or
Right.
whatever.
I thought you were Platinum Gear Productions.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah, PGP. Hey, PGF.
PGP.
There we go.
Anyways.
Daryl, respectfully, he says, sure you are. What is a factual place to get info?
Well, being the cynic that I am, I will tell you that peer studies that people use as facts, a lot of the doctors that do these peer studies are employed or have been employed by the company that you're investigating. So Johnson & Johnson is having these peer-related studies come out saying that the shot is 100%, 99%, whatever, effective. But the doctors that are doing the study are employed by Johnson & Johnson. So Johnson & Johnson, if somebody comes out, if one of the doctors writes a paper that says this thing doesn't work at all, do you really believe that Johnson & Johnson will allow that paper to see the light of day?
No.
So if you're going to trust these types of papers, college and above level papers that look at these studies, you have to look at who wrote it. You have to look at who sponsored it. You can't just go off the information from that paper.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my point.
And the other thing is too is I challenge anybody that if they're confused or they don't trust the news media, go on YouTube and listen to news broadcasts from David Brinkley. What's his name?
Well, I can give you a great example.
Cronkite.
Oh, yeah. I can give you a great example. Clarence Thomas. Everybody knows
Yeah,
who Clarence Thomas
sure.
is. Clarence Thomas, at one point, was a lawyer for Monsanto. And he wrote or he filed petition to have certain laws enacted that would benefit Monsanto. Well, when the next president came in and they were looking for a Supreme Court justice, guess who they chose? Clarence Thomas. Now he's voting on the laws that he wrote when he was working as a lawyer for Monsanto. If you don't think there's some kind of bias there, you're an idiot.
Well, of course, there's bias.
Chris knows.
Chris knows everything.
Because Chris was in everything. Yeah.
That's right.
But
Go
the,
ahead,
wait,
excellent.
wait, the point is that somebody asks, what about news? Where do we
Yeah,
trust? Who do
that's
we
true.
trust? If you watch news, just to get an idea how it was delivered, if you don't remember back in the day, with Ted Koppel,
And that's the way it was.
that's the way it was.
I mean,
They were straight down the middle.
hmm
Today,
Because back then, though, that's the people that were reporting the news were not making a profit off of the news. So sensationalist news never happened. And then I think it was 1973, Reagan said, you know what? We're going to make the news media a for-profit organization.
73 or 83?
I'm guessing.
I'm going to say 83.
Okay. But Reagan said, we're going to make it a for-profit organization. And that's when things changed.
I'm going to disagree, and I'll tell you why. Because there was an entity started by Lyndon B. Johnson. It was called PBS.
Right.
And PBS was then defunded by Richard Nixon.
Right.
You know who brought everything? You know who got everybody convinced in Washington that PBS was an entity worth having?
Ronald Reagan.
Fred Rogers.
Pee Wee Herman.
Mr. Rogers. He's the one that ended up getting the funding back
Right.
for PBS. They didn't do a lot of news programs.
Mm-mm.
They had, just
Sesame Street.
yeah, it's mostly education.
Zoom.
stuff.
yeah, informational type
Yeah.
stuff. Zoom. I loved Zoom.
Yo.
That was a show I watched as a kid. But they specifically stayed away from news and doing news broadcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Then public radio spun off, or NPR. That was basically their news version of it.
Mm-hmm.
NPR is particularly boring, but when they talk the news, straight down the middle.
Yep.
When they do interviews, they're straight down the middle. There's no, I'm going to challenge you. We're not going to challenge you. Look, we had Todd Babbitt on yesterday. Did we challenge him? No, we asked him questions.
Yeah.
And I think that's very, very important. And other news sources that are like that, Reuters is like that.
Right.
So if you're looking for a place to get your news, Reuters Online, Reuters. And I know they're not from here, but Paul, I think you've heard me say this a bunch of times. Al Jazeera.
Yeah.
They're actually in the United States, and they've been voted the number one news organization or print news organization for years because of the way they actually report the news.
Right.
But you'd be very surprised if you went to Al Jazeera, because if you think, Al Jazeera, you think, oh, well, this is going to be something that maybe I don't agree with. You go there, it's like, huh.
They're
So-
not talking about J-Lo and Ben Affleck breaking
No.
up.
No.
No, they're
And
talking.
they're not pro-Middle East either. They're not anti-Middle East. They're not pro-America or anti-America. Same thing with Reuters. Their world news is really
Mhm.
I've trusted them for years. Anyway. All right. So today was a good conversation, led by the whole new executive order of teachers having to get the COVID-19 vaccine or else face unemployment, perhaps.
Mhm.
So anyway, thank you, Paul.
Yep.
Thank you, Chris. Have a good weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, you do.
And we will once again see you on Monday right here on SNSN.
Breakfast.
Breakfast. Breakfast.